All right, so let's take this discussion a little bit further. So before we do that, what I want to do is I want to move these into another maybe another variable. So we're gonna create a private var example one. It returns some view. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this guy and move the whole thing inside, and you can call this example one. All right, and if we resume, everything should work as is. There we go. All right, so let me collapse this, and let's go ahead and create another example. Okay, and then we're gonna talk about what's gonna go inside this example. All right, so as you can see, or you have seen that shapes that we have used so far are built in. They come with SwiftUI, and they can solve a lot of like a lot of shape needs. You might need a control of specific shape like circle, capsule, shape button and stuff like that. It actually probably will work, but if you want to take it one level up and you want to create something of your own, choice of your own, some design that you have in mind, you can very well do that. If you notice, most of these, or all of these, not most of these, actually all of these shapes, if you go into the definition, one thing that you're going to notice is all of them implement this shape protocol. Okay, so if you go, I didn't mean to cut, but can I go one level further? I guess not, but yeah, anyways, shape is a protocol that actually these all built-in shapes conform to. So if you want to create your own shape, then you can create your own custom shape view and then make it, basically draw your custom shape. But that's not necessary. The requirement for shape protocol is to implement a function called path. Now that path is a function that takes a rectangle in the form of cgrect value, and it returns a path object that defines what needs to be drawn within that rectangle. Okay, so that path is basically provided as an outline of 2D shapes that are specified within the coordinate points, specified by the coordinate points within that rectangle. It defines the lines being drawn between those points. Now the lines between points or paths, they can be drawn in a straight line or in a curve. You can think of like cubic, quadratic, bezier curves, arcs, ellipse, rectangles, anything that you can think of, that can be drawn using lines. That is possible to draw using path. Okay, so instead of first creating a shape, let's go ahead and create a path. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna simply say path. Okay, and this is gonna create a 2D shape for us. Now path provides a path variable for us. Now in order for you to start drawing something within the coordinate space that you have just created, you move your start point somewhere. So you just say path dot move. Okay, and move to where? There's a point that you need to provide. Move to this point. So let's say you say move to point x coordinate maybe 20 and y to be 20 as well. Okay, so move to this point. All right, so let me go ahead and start rendering example 2 as well, so we can you can see what's going on. So right now there's literally nothing there. Now in order to draw something, right, in order to draw a line, you simply say path dot add line. Now you can give multiple CG points to draw a line, or you can add a single line. So let's add a single line, and this time we're going to do is we're going to say draw a line. So keep x, which is x-axis, right, and y-axis. So keep x on 20, okay, and y, which is this up direction, give that 350. Okay, all right. So we are going to add something now. We're gonna add something called path dot close subpath. Okay, now that's gonna actually automatically close our subpath, but let's add another line so we get to see something on the screen. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna say cg point x and y. So x and y will be, let's say, 350 and 350. Okay, so as you can see that we have drawn a triangle on the screen. Now let me reduce it to 300, 300, and 300, like that. Okay, so as you can see, we have actually drawn a triangle here. Now you can take this triangle and basically, so if you notice, there is no triangle shape here created, right? Well, you can actually take and convert this into a shape. So let's go ahead and do that just now. Okay, so what I'm going to do right here, right before our preview struct, you're going to create a struct. Okay, you're going to call this one triangle. All right, and this is going to conform to a shape protocol. So now we're going to use the shape protocol. Now shape protocol expects us to build or implement a function called path. Now path gives us a cg rect, right? And the cg rect expects a path to be returned. So what we're going to do is, instead of having this path created like this, we are going to create a variable called path, initialize that. Okay, and then we're gonna do all this. I'm gonna copy and paste, right? And I'm gonna return this path right there. Okay, all right. Now when we have this shape, this triangle shape created, what we can do is instead of having returned this, we are going to create another private var example3. Okay, and here I'm gonna say get the triangle, all right, and fill that with color dot orange, give that a frame of 300. So let's give it width of 200 and 200. Let's see what happens there. Okay, and we're gonna render our example 3 right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and resume. And what you're gonna notice is the frame itself is basically this much, but our shape has been drawn outside of the frame, right? Because now there are two reasons. Because, like, first of all, this is being rendered at the center, so like, this is where our cg rect starts, and then, like, it goes beyond the bounds of the frame, because we are providing these lines at specified coordinates, right? So in order to sort of like accommodate or adjust to the shape, the rectangle that's been given to us, what we can do is we can simply instead of using these hard-coded values, we're going to use that rect that has been provided to us. All right, so what we can do is instead of 20 here, we're going to say let's use a cg or a rect dot min x. Okay, so minimum value of the x, and rect dot min y. So wherever that coordinate starts from, just move this value there. Okay, add the line to rect dot min x. Okay, and rect dot max y. Right? So our frame is ending here, and that's where our shape is gonna basically add a line to. So what we're gonna do is here we're gonna say rect dot max x, okay, for the last line, and rect dot max y, okay, and close shape automatically. So now you have this triangle adjusting to the size of the of your frame. So as you can see, right now our frame is this much and our rectangle is honoring that. So if in case I actually increase this to, let's say, 400 for the width, or increase height to 400, our rectangle still adjusts to that requirement and redraws that entire shape for us. Okay, so that's how you can actually create your own shape. All the other properties that you learned about, like adding strokes and other things, like other modifiers that you have seen in example 1, they still apply the same way as they apply to the built-in shapes. So you are all good over there. Now there are few built-in functions that are there to help you draw better. For example, you have like add line, of course. You have move that we have already seen. You have close path, but other than these, you have add arc. Okay, and let's go ahead and jump to the definition to see, like what all, if you can find anything. Okay, there you go. So you have move, right? And you have add line to add a straight line. If you want to add a quadratic Bezier curve to the path, you actually add that by providing control point. So we're gonna take a look at an example right after this, adding a quadratic curve. All right, but other than that, you have, like add curve. Again, it takes a point, a control, and 2 control points. Close subpath closes the path automatically. Then you have, like add rectangle, which adds a rounded or a rectangle to the path. Add rounded rectangle, which takes a corner radius and adds a rounded rectangle to the path. You can add ellipse. You can basically have, like adds a sequence of rectangular subpaths. So basically multiple rects. You can have like multiple lines added. So yeah, so as you can see, like you have arc, you have path, so you have, like multiple different options to basically draw these custom shapes that you're actually trying to create according to your need. Okay, so I'm gonna recommend you trying out these things and see, like how they actually play out for you. Now, as far as the adding a curve, a Bezier curve goes, let's go ahead and take a look at an example for that. So I'm going to create a private var example 3, right? And we're gonna, let me comment this for now. We are going to create another shape, my custom shape, maybe custom shape. Okay, and this custom shape is gonna conform to the shape protocol. Once again, we need a path, so we're gonna create the path like that. All right, and we're gonna return this path. Okay, we also want to call path.close subpath because we want to close that. All right, so what I'm going to do back now here in the example 3, I'm going to uncomment this guy, and I'm going to say use my custom shape, fill it with a blue color, and leave everything by default. So take over the entire space. All right, now example, let's call example, what did I call example? I should have called example 4. So example 4, there we go. All right, let's resume our preview, and we're gonna build out the path here. Okay, so first we're gonna say path dot move, and we want to move to the very beginning of the rectangle. So we're gonna say we need x and y, so we can say rect string provided, take the min x value and take min y value from the provided rectangle. Okay, then add a path dot add a quadratic curve. So this is the bezier path. Now it takes two control points, essentially 2 points. Okay, so we're gonna create a point. All right, and we're gonna draw this point from the minimum value of x to maximum value of y. Okay, so we're gonna say rect dot min value of x, rect dot max value of y. Okay, that's our first control point. Our second control point is going to be basically rectangle dot max value of x to rectangle dot max value of y. Okay, so as you can see, there is this shape that is an arc, sort of like, you know, a path has been created for us, and this shape has basically a filled is filled with blue color that we provided, right? Okay, so that's how you can actually create a shape. Now you can basically add this further. Right now we are closing our path here, right? But if you add more lines, you're gonna close your path on the other direction where your path is gonna be. So let's say path dot add line, and we are going to add a line to minimum x and maximum y. So min x and maximum of y. All right, and then add another line of maximum value of x and maximum value of y. Okay, so this is the shape that we have created. It almost looks like a wave but yeah, essentially, like, you know, this is, and you can actually change this. So there are other values that you can have, like, you know, so you can say mid x and mid y, mid y, like that. So there you go. So you can have, like, you know, this sort of like a wave pattern that we have just created. Okay, all right, so that is your custom shape that you just created. Now you can actually add some padding to make it, like, you know, give it a little bit of breathing room to see, like, you know, how it looks like. It sort of looks like an arrow pointing down, and you can actually sort of, like, you know, rotate it however you want to rotate, or you can leave it like this and make it look like a wave rising up, right? Okay, so this was the discussion on the custom path in custom shape, and how you can create your own custom shapes if they don't satisfy the need that you have for your own project. All right, let's go ahead and talk about gradients as well.